Dear one, if you've been holding your breath, waiting to feel good enough, let's begin right here, right now. Not someday when you're calmer, thinner, stronger, more organized, more healed, or more certain. Right now as you are, with the life you have, with the feelings you're carrying, with the hopes that flicker inside you. Some days you may wake up and the first voice you hear is not loving. It points out what you didn't do, what you should have done, what you haven't become yet. And you may be so used to that voice that you think it is you. You may believe you must criticize yourself into improvement. You may believe that love is something you earn by being perfect. Sweetheart, I want you to know something very gently and very clearly. You do not have to fight yourself to grow. You do not have to hate yourself to change, and you do not have to wait to approve of yourself. Many of us learned very early that approval comes from outside. A teacher's praise, a parent's smile, a friend's acceptance, a partner's attention. And when those things were inconsistent, we tried to become someone safe to love. We adjusted. We performed. We kept parts of ourselves hidden. We thought, if I can just do it right, I will finally be okay. And perhaps you are tired now, tired of bargaining with your worth, tired of being hard on yourself and calling it discipline, tired of feeling like you're always behind in your own life. So let me offer you a doorway, a simple doorway you can walk through again and again until your heart recognizes it as home. I approve of myself exactly as I am now, not because you've finished the journey, but because you are on it. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are worthy of kindness in the middle of imperfection. Not because you never make mistakes, but because you are human, and being human is allowed. Take a soft breath with me, and let's begin. The moment you stop arguing with yourself, you begin to come home. That arguing can be so constant you barely notice it. It's the quiet not enough running underneath your day, the comparison, the replaying of old conversations, the way you tighten inside when you don't meet your own impossible standards. And what I've learned is this: when you are at war with yourself, you cannot rest. When you cannot rest, you cannot hear your own wisdom. And when you cannot hear your own wisdom, life feels louder and harsher than it truly is. So self-approval is not a cute idea. It is not a luxury. It is not something you do when you have extra time. It is a way of returning to yourself. Imagine for a moment that your heart is a little home, just a small, warm home. And inside that home lives the truest part of you, the part that has always been here, even when you doubted yourself, the part that is gentle, the part that is brave, the part that keeps going. Now imagine that every critical thought is like slamming the door of that home, again and again, even when the weather is cold, even when you're tired. No wonder you feel exhausted. So I invite you very softly to stop slamming the door on yourself. Open it, even a crack. Say it with me, quietly, as if you are speaking to a child you love. I approve of myself exactly as I am now. You may notice resistance immediately. Your mind might say, no, I don't. Or, that's not true. Or, but what about my mistakes? That's okay. That's very okay. This is not about forcing a feeling. It's about planting a seed. Seeds don't bloom in one afternoon. They bloom because you keep watering them, even when the soil still looks bare. I've learned that the mind can be trained, not through harshness, but through repetition and kindness, like smoothing a river stone. The river doesn't shout at the stone. It simply flows again and again until the sharp edges soften. So today, you don't have to believe it perfectly. You just have to practice it gently. Here is a simple practice you can do right now. Put one hand on your heart or on your belly. Feel your own warmth. Feel the fact that you are here. And say, in this moment, I choose to be on my own side. In this moment, I allow myself to be imperfect and still worthy. In this moment, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. And then breathe. Let there be a little space after the words, a small pause, a place where your nervous system can hear, we are safe. Self-approval is not a reward you earn. It is a relationship you build. And relationships are built through consistent, loving choices, not one dramatic moment, not one perfect day, but small moments, repeated. Many people think self-approval means you will never want to change. But what I discovered is the opposite. When you stop attacking yourself, you become more honest. When you are honest, you can see what truly needs attention. And when you see clearly, you can change with love instead of punishment. Think of a stained glass window. If it is covered in dust, the light still exists behind it, but it can't shine through as brightly. You don't fix a stained glass window by smashing it. You clean it, gently, patiently. You let the colors come alive again. Your worth is the light. Your approval is the cleaning cloth. And your life becomes brighter, not because you forced it, but because you stopped blocking your own radiance with shame. Now, I know this can be difficult if you grew up with criticism, if love was conditional, if you were praised only when you performed. Your system learned, I must be hard on myself to survive. So we don't shame that pattern. We honor it. We thank it for trying to protect you, and then we choose something new. Dear one, can you feel how different this is? Not I'm broken, but I learned a strategy, and now I'm ready for a kinder one. I've learned to speak to my mind the way I would speak to someone I truly love. I don't always do it perfectly, but I do it more and more. And life responds, not as a miracle guarantee, but as a gentle shift over time. Because when your inner world softens, your outer choices often soften too. Here is a practical way to build this relationship. Choose one moment each day that you usually criticize yourself. Just one. It might be the mirror. It might be making a mistake. It might be resting. It might be saying no. And in that moment, replace the old sentence with a new one. Old sentence, what is wrong with me? New sentence, I am learning and I am worthy. Old sentence, I should be better. New sentence, I am growing and I can be kind while I grow. Then add your anchor phrase, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. You are teaching your mind a new language, and languages take practice. Sweetheart, that's normal. Pause here. Let that land. You are allowed to learn love. Sometimes the inner critic is not cruelty. It is an old attempt at protection. Many people think, if I stop criticizing myself, I'll become lazy. But often that critic is a frightened part of you that believes it must keep you small to keep you safe. It might sound like this. Don't try, you'll fail. Don't shine, you'll be judged. Don't relax, something bad will happen. And I want you to hear this tenderly. That part of you is not your enemy. It is a scared guardian. It learned that the world could be unpredictable. It learned that approval could be taken away. So it tried to control you through perfection. But control is not love, and love is what heals. So we speak to the critic with compassion, not to obey it, but to soothe it. We say, thank you for trying to help, and I'm choosing a different way now. Imagine you are standing at a garden gate. Behind that gate is your life, your real life, with your creativity, your relationships, your dreams, your peace. The critic stands at the gate, arms crossed, saying, you can't go in until you're perfect. and you have waited outside for so long. Sweetheart, you are allowed to open the gate now. You don't need perfect weather to step into the garden. You don't need perfect hair, perfect moods, perfect confidence, perfect certainty. You just need permission, and you can give yourself that permission. I approve of myself exactly as I am now. I've learned that the most powerful moment is the moment you catch yourself being cruel to yourself and you interrupt it with kindness. That interruption is not weakness, it is strength, it is leadership, it is you taking your life back. Try this in real time. When you notice the critic, pause. Take one slow breath in. Then ask yourself, what would love say? And let love answer, even if it's quiet. Love might say, it's okay to be learning. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to begin again. Then softly, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. If this feels emotional, that is okay too. Tears can be release. They can be the river washing the stone. They can be the body letting go of an old story. This practice is not about pretending. It is about choosing truth. And the truth is, there is nothing broken in you. Pause. Breathe. You are safe to be here. Let me share something I discovered. The body relaxes when the mind stops attacking. You may not realize how much tension you carry from simply thinking against yourself. The shoulders lift, the jaw clenches, the stomach tightens, the breath becomes shallow, your body hears every thought. So when you offer yourself approval, you are not just saying words. You are offering your body a signal that says we are not in danger right now. Many people find that as they change their inner language, their relationship with stress begins to shift, not always instantly, not in a magical way, but over time, like dawn slowly brightening the sky. You may notice you sleep a little better. You may notice you recover from a mistake faster. You may notice you have more patience. You may notice you stop abandoning yourself. And that matters, because your life is lived inside your body. So here is a gentle practice that can support you. I call it the softening breath. You can do it in a chair, in bed, in your car, before you walk inside, anywhere. Breathe in and quietly say, I allow. Breathe out and quietly say, I release. Again, breathe in, I allow. Breathe out, I release. And then, on the next breath, speak your anchor phrase like a lullaby. I approve of myself exactly as I am now. Notice what happens if you say it as if you mean well, not as if you must convince yourself, just as if you are offering kindness. I've learned to think of self-approval as turning on a small candle in a dark room. You don't light a candle to shame the darkness. You light it to see. You light it because you care. And once the candle is lit, you can take the next step. You can pick up what you need. You can find your way. So if you are someone who feels anxious or overwhelmed or constantly on, let this be your candle. Your breath is the match. Your words are the flame. Your approval is the light. Now, a loving reminder, these practices support your mindset and emotional well-being, and they do not replace professional care when you need it. Sometimes we need help, and asking for help is also self-approval. Can you feel that? Approving of yourself can include reaching out. Approving of yourself can include resting. Approving of yourself can include saying, I need support. Pause. One more soft breath. Let the light glow. You don't have to approve of every choice you've made to approve of the person you are. This is where many people get stuck. They think self-approval means you must look at your past and say, everything was fine. But dear one, Self-approval is not denial. It is compassion. You may have made choices from fear, from pain, from not knowing, from being young, from trying to survive. And I want you to know you are allowed to grow beyond your past without hating who you were. I've learned that shame keeps you tied to the old story, but kindness loosens the knot. So we separate the person from the behavior. We can say, that choice didn't serve me, and also say, I am still worthy. We can say, I hurt someone, and I am willing to repair. And also say, I am not a bad person. We can say, I didn't know how to love myself then. And also say, I can learn now. Imagine your past as a path you walked at night. Maybe you stumbled, maybe you fell, maybe you walked in circles, but you were moving in the best way you knew how with the light you had. Now you are here, in a new moment, with a new light. So the question is not, was I perfect? The question is, can I be kind now? And if you can be kind now, you are free to choose differently. Here is a practical exercise for forgiveness that stays gentle. Write down one sentence you still hold against yourself, just one, not the whole life story, one sentence. Then write a new sentence underneath it, a sentence that offers compassion. Example, old sentence, I failed. New sentence, I learned and I am learning still. Old sentence, I wasn't strong enough. New sentence, I survived and I'm becoming stronger with love. Then read the new sentence out loud and add, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. Not as a way to erase the past, as a way to stop carrying it like a stone in your pocket. You can set it down, you can walk lighter. Pause, feel the possibility of release. It's safe to begin again. When you approve of yourself now, you create the safest foundation for real change. Many of us were taught to change through pressure, through punishment, through humiliation, but pressure may create movement and it rarely creates peace. Love creates peace, and peace is fertile ground. A garden grows best in good soil, not in a storm. So if there is something you want to change, your habits, your health routines, your relationships, your work patterns, approach it from approval. Say, I deserve to feel better, not I hate myself. I've learned that the most lasting changes come from gentleness, from listening, from asking, what do I truly need, instead of, what's wrong with me? Sometimes what you need is not more pushing. Sometimes what you need is rest. Sometimes what you need is a boundary. Sometimes what you need is to stop proving yourself. Have you ever noticed how you can't force a flower to bloom by yelling at it? You can't shame it into opening. You provide water. You provide sunlight. You protect it from harsh weather. And then, in its own time, it blossoms. You are like that flower. Your blossoming has a timing. Your heart opens when it feels safe. So here's a practical way to combine approval with growth. Choose one tiny change you want to make. Tiny. So small, your mind can't argue with it. If you want to drink more water, start with 1 glass. If you want to move your body, start with 5 minutes. If you want to speak kindly to yourself, start with 1 sentence. Then, before you do it, say, I approve of myself exactly as I am now, and I choose this because I care about me. Notice the difference, not I have to, but I choose. Not I'm not enough, but I am worthy. This is how you build a life that feels supportive. You become your own safe place. And when you are your own safe place, you may discover you take braver steps. You may discover you stop settling. You may discover you become more authentic, because you are not living for approval, you are living from it. Pause here. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. You are allowed to change from love. Today we practice approval in ordinary moments, because that's where your life is lived. Not only in meditation, not only in beautiful breakthroughs, but in the kitchen, in the mirror, in traffic, in your inbox, in your quiet evenings, in your messy mornings. Let's bring self-approval into the practical world. When you look in the mirror, notice if you immediately scan for flaws. So many people do. It's a habit, not a truth. So soften your eyes, look gently, and say one kind sentence, just one. Hello, sweetheart. I'm here with you. I'm learning to love you. Then, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. When you make a mistake, notice how quickly you punish yourself. And instead, try this. Pause, breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Say, that was a moment, not my identity. Then, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. When you need to set a boundary and guilt rises, remind yourself, it is safe to honor my needs. It is safe to say no. It is safe to choose what supports my well-being. Then, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. When you rest and your mind calls you lazy, answer with love. Rest is not a reward. Rest is a requirement. Then, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. I've learned that self-approval is like teaching a little bird to trust your hand. You don't chase it, you don't grab it, you offer your palm steady and quiet again and again, and one day the bird comes closer, then it lands, then it stays. Your heart is that bird. Your love is your steady hand, and each time you practice approval, you create trust. Now, if you forget, if you go back to criticism, do not shame yourself for that either. That would be the old pattern wearing a new costume. Instead, smile gently. Say, ah, there's the old habit, and return. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to the words, I approve of myself exactly as I am now. Pause. Let there be silence for a moment. In that silence, you may feel a softness. That softness is you. And now, sweetheart, let's seal this work with a simple, loving truth you can return to any time. You have spent enough time trying to become someone else in order to be loved. You have spent enough time negotiating your worth. You have spent enough time carrying a heavy bag of should. Today, we set it down, not because life is perfect, but because you are worthy of peace in the middle of life. Not because you never struggle, but because you are allowed to be held while you struggle. Not because you've reached the finish line, but because you are here, breathing, trying, learning, living. This is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about choosing kindness as your foundation. Many people find that when they practice self-approval consistently, they begin to notice new choices. They begin to notice new opportunities. They begin to feel safer in their own skin. And from that safety, beautiful transformations can unfold, step by step, day by day. So let's speak a small set of affirmations together. Say them slowly. Let them sink into your body. I am willing to be on my own side. I choose to speak to myself with love. I allow myself to be imperfect and still worthy. I release the need to earn my right to exist. And again, with tenderness, I am willing to be on my own side. I choose to speak to myself with love. I allow myself to be imperfect and still worthy. I release the need to earn my right to exist. Now place your hand on your heart and say the anchor phrase one more time as if you are blessing yourself. I approve of myself exactly as I am now. Breathe. Feel the steadiness of that. And as you move into the rest of your day, remember this: you can come back to these words at any moment. In the middle of a difficult conversation, after a mistake, before you sleep, when you wake up, when you are afraid, when you are proud, you are the one you've been waiting for. And I want you to know with all the love in my heart, you are enough, you are worthy, and it is safe to be you. I approve of myself exactly as I am now.